Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you another map review from the playtest realm, patch 1.2.1. So, there is no official name for this map, it's just map 2. The tile set seems to be similar as to that of Monolith Ridge, and a lot of the gameplay similarities are more similar to or remind me of a 4-player version of the Xel'Naga Caverns. So just hear me out on this. The 4 spawning locations are obviously in the 4 corners of the map, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, similar to what Kulos Ravine was. You have a very large amount of areas to start building towards your front door, but one thing you have to be careful about is that there is brush inside your base. So this is probably a very dangerous place that players may try to hide a proxy gateway, a proxy cannons, things of that nature. Make sure you get down on early supply depot, have an overlord there, get a pylon here as quickly as possible, otherwise you may find yourself in a world of hurt. So inside your base is fairly large, but it's not so large that it is very difficult to defend. There's a rather narrow choke point here, and then as it comes out, as long as you build your buildings correctly, you can make it so that the units have to funnel in through either this side or this side, which really helps out in the long run. And after that, you have a very easily to defend natural expansion here, but your natural expansion opens up into actually 3 separate choke points. Or is that, yeah, 3 separate choke points. There is one choke point here that is guarded by destructible rocks, so that you do not have to be concerned about all too much. After that, there is the normal way to get into your that gets into the center of the map, which does have a Xel'Naga watchtower here. This choke point is rather wide, so 2 to 3 force fields will be used. And that's only if you try to move out into this location here. If you don't move out into this location, this choke point is even wider. And then there's also another choke point here. From there, you have a low ground ramp that moves into your 3rd expansion right here in the low ground, similar to how Xel'Naga Caverns works, except for you now have destructible rocks on the far end of the ramp in order to offer some additional protection. So this is something that I've been asking and I like to see, and this is going to help a lot of Zerg players out in that they don't need to take down rocks in order to establish a 3rd base. So this is definitely going to help Zerg, but one of the things that Zerg is not going to like is that this expansion is recessed into the ground. So by it being recessed into the ground, siege tanks along the ledge here, stalkers along the ledge are going to be able to get damage onto this low ground fairly easily. There are 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers here, but these Xel'Naga watchtowers are not nearly as important as the Xel'Naga watchtowers were in Lost Temple 1.0. The reason behind this is that first of all, these Xel'Naga watchtowers do not give each other sight as they do similarly in Metalopolis, even though that is rather close. So I'm a little surprised that they actually don't give sight across each other. No, it shouldn't be the brush. I guess this is just a rather large map, so the walking distance between these 2 locations is rather large, so that's why, even though it looks closer than on Metalopolis, it's actually a little bit further away. Or perhaps they adjusted the sight on Xel'Naga watchtowers. Anyways, getting back to this particular map review, yeah, the Xel'Naga watchtowers are not nearly as important as they were on Lost Temple because there's a lot easier ways to flank. These Xel'Naga watchtowers, they don't give as much sight across the center of the map, so it is actually easy in order to just take down these rocks. And these rocks are actually the closer way to get into your opponent's base if you say you spawn directly north or south of each other, as opposed to trying to cut through the center. This map does, however, promise to be one of those maps where if it is a Terran versus a Terran, or if it's a Terran who likes to siege up, this map is very easy to split north-south. East-west, not so much, but north-south, there are only 4 choke points. Siege tanks, as long as you have some units activating this Xel'Naga watchtower here and here, you can put siege tanks in the center, and the siege tanks will pretty much cover this whole entire center ground. There are also ramps coming into this location here, so whenever you're charging up a ramp, you got to be very careful, as your opponent will have sight on you unless you bring along an observer, an overseer, a raven, or any other flying unit, or a colossus, as well as colossi are able to see up onto that high ground. But yeah, I like this map. I'm not 100% sure who it favors just quite yet. There's a lot of walkways, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the early game is going to play out like. Because of the sheer number of walkways, your opponent can get into your base very easily if they take a roundabout way to get into your base. So yeah, if they decide to, instead of coming through the center, they try to come in through this brush and then come back down this side, you do not see it by activating, or you could see it by activating this Onaga Watchtower and only seeing a little portion of this walking here. So yeah, early rushes may be possible, but there is a very, very large walking distance between these bases. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'm still going through the rest of the maps. Unfortunately, I need to play the game, move an SCV around, move a Hellion around to remove some of the Fog of War, as that Son out of memory removing a Fog of War doesn't seem to work on the playtest realm, or something's happening with it and it just doesn't work. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed this map review.